Hey guys, what's up? First of all, let me make sure this isn't too crooked. Hold on. Trying to make sure of something, folks. There we go. Anyway, hello everyone. I am here today to do something I've been thinking about, and I guess you could say I could thank Angry Joe for this, because he did a top 10 things, or at least top 10, or at least a 10 list deal on why the Last Jedi made him angry or made him upset. So I figured I'd come on here and do basically not a 10, but a 5 list. In no particular order, but I guess you could probably say order, if you will, because the way it may go, of some of the newsworthy items, or at least some of the standout moments and newsworthy items of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Because there were several, and sometimes maybe too many to count. But these 5 I've actually thought about even while I was working. I was thinking, what could be in this list? And I figured, what I'm going to talk about here, I think are worth it. So, without further adu, these are the 5 newsworthy moments and newsworthy and standout moments of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic for 2017. All right. Okay. The first one I want to talk about is Shadow Play. Yeah, Shadow Play, which was the season 7 finale. This was something that a lot of fans were actually looking forward to, due to the fact that this actually was one of the only times, if not the only time, that you had a direct tie-in with the comic, with the IDW comic. Basically, since the comic began, there was always word going around that you might have some continuity nods here and there and references here and there, but there was always some kind of separation, distinction that made both different. At times the comic can be a little bit more darker, a little bit more mature, but there was always that distinction that you knew both were in the same world, but both were different. Both had their own continuity. Kind of like with the Ninja Turtles when they were under the Archie license. It's like after the first several issues, they started to go off in their own deal and become a little more darker and mature in story and stuff. And that's kind of like with My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. The comics always tried to distinguish themselves being different than the show. Well, this past year, IDW decided to release a spin-off comic. Now, the IDW had done several spin-off comics before, from Friendship is Magic, like Friends Forever, some of the micro comics, if you will, and several others. But the reason Legends of Magic was so noteworthy is because this directly tied into what was going to happen in the second half of Season 7. Season 7 actually turned out to be known, in my opinion, as the Legends of Magic arc. And what the comics allowed to happen was they were able to expand on each of the legends of Equestria, each of the pillars, more so than what we had in the show. This all started with the episode Campfire Tales, and it went from there. Basically, Campfire Tales was about, focused on Rarity, Rainbow Dash, and Applejack telling their sisters, sisters and sister-like, if you look at Rainbow Dash. Well, basically sisters, even though not by blood. Basically telling them about these legends of old that they had heard about. Like the Flash Magnus, Misty Mane, and the Hercules-like pony, if you will. So, anyway, that started the road, if you will, towards shadow play, because after that, we started getting other episodes focused on the Legends of Magic story arc. Fluttershy got hers with got her arc with centered around Misty, not Misty, but centered around Meadowbrook. We had Pinkie get hers when she went on an adventure with Daring Do and Rainbow Dash. She got her connection with Salamana, I can't think of her name right now, the Egyptian pony. And then of course you had Twilight's connection with Starswirl in Shadow Play itself. And we've always known that Twilight was a fan of Starswirl, so it all became natural that inevitably he was going to be in the show. And to say that this all culminated, I think, first of all, I've never read the Legends of Magic arc in the comics. I've never read the comics interpretation. But from what I could tell, I think it all came together very nicely. They even used what some would consider a non-connecting portion of the arc to set up Shadow Play with the episode Uncommon Bond. So I really liked it. I really enjoyed what we got here. I mean, I know some people have a mixed opinion of, oh, well, they could have done this, or why couldn't this be the movie, or why couldn't they make this 3 or 4 parts? I get it, because there are some things in there that kind of throw you off and make you wonder, hey, or make you wonder, why wasn't this expanded on more? And I'm in total agreement with that. I'm in total agreement with that. But overall, with the exception of maybe a few things that could have been expanded on, I thought the animation was good, and overall the build to this I thought was done very well. I thought the build was done very well because at first you're thinking, okay, just like Applejack, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash, you're thinking, okay, these characters are just legends. That's it. But then you find out in Shadow Play along with them that they're not legends, that they're not just mythical, that they're real. And overall, Shadow Play, I think, really, when you get beyond that, the initial reaction from the main 6 of, oh, this was all these stories we're hearing about were actually reality, and how the similarity and connections between them and the original Guardians, it really plays out very well in my opinion. I think honestly it plays out very well. The build to it was done great. I mean, I thought it was done great, and the inclusion of the comics to help expand upon that, I think, was a brilliant move by Hasbro and IDW and DHX to do, because it gave you more of an opportunity to know who these legends of old were, these legends of Equestria were. So I enjoyed that. I really did. And I liked how we find out that the reason for the conflict, because we also finally get to know who the Pony of Shadows is. We got a hint of that, I think, in a season 4 episode, but we finally get a full-on explanation of who the Pony of Shadows is, what the motivation was, and basically who was, I guess, the host of the host body for the Pony of Shadows. But what's unique about this, and I'll say it right now, is they give us a twist. Now I know Lily Pete, I know Melinimus, I know several others at the Rift Cafe and Bronies and Pegasisters alike may or may not agree with what was inevitably, someone became bad because they were misunderstood or someone misunderstood them scenario. But what I liked about this is the twist. Because Stygian, who gets corrupted by the Pony of Shadows, doesn't just automatically go dark like Luna did and allow Nightmare Magic to take over. You know, she doesn't just go dark like Luna did. She doesn't just go bonkers like Starlight did, you know, when she was introduced. And we find out the reason why. Stygian becomes angry because he feels betrayed because the pillars, Starswell and the other legends, didn't give him a chance to explain why he had taken their elements, the magical elements. It basically took Twilight going into the Pony of Shadows herself, confronting Stygian, and finding out the truth, and by overhearing and by him explaining right then and there what his real reasoning was, that was really to me the turning point. That to me was the turning point of the whole story right there. That to me was the turning point. That was the twist that was needed, because we find out basically it wasn't just his fault. Because yeah, he should have told him what he was doing, but it was the pillars. They should have been the ones that are like, hey, maybe there's a reason for this. Let's hear him out. So overall, I really enjoyed Shadowplay, and I think everything that led up to it, you know, from the connection with the comics, you know, the connection with the Legends of Magic comic, to the build up through the various episodes, I thought was done very well. Because you could see the similarities between the original Guardians and the main six. And I did like, and I know some people might feel conflicted about this, but I did like how it was Starlight, of all ponies, despite how you feel about her, that saw that, hey, maybe there was something more to this than meets the eye. So, overall, Shadowplay to me definitely lived up to the hype it was given all the way around, from the comics to the episodes. I think it really lived up to what it needed to be as a finale. A lot of people who actually got to see it early due to certain reasons, and I'll get into that later on, they enjoyed it and thought it was probably one of the better ones, and that it was basically how MLP used to be, in their opinion. Like this is a callback to what it used to be. So overall, Shadowplay, overall, Shadowplay, definitely one of the most noteworthy standout moments of MLP 2017. For MLP in 2017, I should say. And that's really all I can say. I mean, you may or may not agree with it, but that's my opinion. Now I'm going to get on to the fourth standout newsworthy moment for MLP this year. Alright, now for the fourth moment that stood out in my opinion for MLP this year in 2017. Probably the most anticipated moment fans have been waiting for. And it all started with the first episode and continued on, I think, to about episode 10. And that is development for Celestria. Yes. Princess Celestria actually ended up getting some development this year, this past season, much to the surprise, much to the giddiness and positive feedback that Celestial Advice and Royal Problem got. Because a lot of fans since the beginning of the show have been waiting for this moment. I mean, true, there have been hints aplenty that there is more to Celestia than meets the eye. And finally, season 7, we get those moments. We get it with Celestial Advice, we get it with Royal Problem. These are moments fans have been waiting for. They've been waiting a long time for. And to me, I think it was worth the wait. I mean, the way they started out, you'd think that Celestial Advice, which is the very first episode of the season, is going to be a Discord-related episode, because it's Discord that actually questions Twilight's method of still trying to teach Starlight friendship lessons. I mean, we even get a bit of an Easter egg that she has basically 3 years worth of lessons for Starlight. So basically, in the first episode of the season, we get a hint that we're going to get more seasons of Friendship is Magic just by Twilight saying that line. But it's Discord that kind of gets the ball rolling, because basically he mentions that Starlight, under her first initial year, under her initial tutelage with Twilight, it's pretty much learned what she needed to learn. And that it's all culminated with her helping to save Equestria. So, yeah, Discord gets the ball rolling, and it makes Twilight wonder, okay, what do I do next with Starlight if she's beyond friendship lessons? What do I do next? And then that's when what many fans felt was the unthinkable happens. She goes and gets advice from someone. We don't see who that Sun Pony is until the camera turns right to that pony, and we see that it's Celestria. Even Josh Scorcher, aka Firebrand, did a reaction where he took a cup of water conveniently placed, and the moment that happened, and he heard Celestria's voice, the moment he heard who the pony, the moment basically Josh heard the voice of the pony that Twilight was talking to, that was, his reaction was, she consults Celestia? She actually consult? And then boom, and all of a sudden you hear this, finally! So, and that was basically, and that reaction by Josh himself was the same reaction every fan has had since that moment. Even Golden Fox, who did a recent review of it, has said that this was a moment we've all been waiting for. Why? Because even though fans can use fan fiction, even though fans could look at the comics that basically developed Celestria a lot more than the show ever did, even though they did that, even though the IDW comics started developing Celestria's character more so than the show ever did, for the show to finally catch up and do this for itself, for DHX Media to come out and finally do this, was, I think, a long time coming, and I think a lot of people would agree with it. Heck, they even continued the development with Royal Problem, because basically, yes, this is a Starlight episode, and it's significant for several reasons. One, it's the first time ever that we get a Royal Sister-centered episode that fans have been clamoring for a long time. We see those Royal Sister-like stories in the comics, but never in the show. Now we're getting it. And who's in the middle of it? Who gets sent to solve this friendship problem with the Royal Sisters? Not Twilight, Starlight. And this is significant because it's the first time that a non-main six character at that moment was sent by the cutie map to go solve his friendship problem. But thus, by being summoned by the cutie map to go solve this friendship problem with the sisters, the main six became a main seven. So, yeah, Royal Problem was significant, not just for that moment, but it was significant because it finally gave fans what they've been wanting. Character development between both sisters, a great story that fans have been waiting, hoping would be worthy of a Royal Sister-like episode, as well as give fans something that they had only wrote in fan fiction, and they'd drawn in webcomics and in fan art. They gave us an alternate version, a dark version of Celestria in Daybreaker. They did just that. They gave us that moment that a lot of fans even clamored for. The reactions fans got, and you can see it on YouTube, when that moment appeared. When Daybreaker appeared, was like, holy crap, this is beyond just giving Celestria development in the first episode. And here, it shows us more to this character than we thought. So, overall, Celestria getting development definitely ranks up there, is definitely the fourth, in my opinion, noteworthy moment, standout moment of 2017 for MLP. Again, some people may or may not agree with it, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worthy of that. So, yeah, definitely, if you don't believe the hype behind it, check out those two episodes. I think you will enjoy them. And this right here, I will say this in closing, pretty much was the tipping point of the iceberg. Was basically the tipping of the iceberg, the breaking of the ice, because I'm not going to say much until later. Let's just say season 8 develops Celestia even more so as her own character. So that's all I'm going to say on Celestia getting development. Now I'm going to get on to number 3, which I think a lot of fans will be happy to hear is at number 3. Alright guys, the third standout and newsworthy moment of 2017 for MLP has to be the episode The Perfect Pair. That's right, we finally get to know about Applejack and Apple Bloom and Big Mac's parents. And to say that when this was announced as part of the episode listing in back when season 7's synopsis for every episode and title for every episode was revealed, to say fans were anticipating this very highly would be an understatement. Because, you know, yes, we got to see who Rainbow Dash's parents are for the first time too. I'm not discrediting that, but we always knew that with Rainbow Dash, just like Twilight, Pinkie, Rarity, and Fluttershy, we pretty much knew their parents. We pretty much knew Rainbow Dash's parents were alive. We knew that. We kind of had that. We kind of knew that was a possibility. But Applejack's was always hinted at as not being alive anymore. You know, there were moments where in episodes where she would look out, like there's a moment in one episode where she's looking outside a window and she sees 2 shooting stars coming down. Many people have interpreted that as being her parents. Like those are like spiritual interpretations of her parents. You know, the way she acknowledges to Apple Bloom in Crusaders of the Lost, Crusaders of the Lost Mark or something like that. The Crusaders of the Key Mark. When the CMC get their cutie marks finally, one thing Applejack says to Apple Bloom is Mom and Dad would be so proud if they were there. Mom and Dad would be so proud. So we know something happened, but we don't know what. But even besides that, we'd always been wondering, you know, who were they? Who were Applejack's parents? Who were Apple Bloom's parents? Who were they? You know, who were they? And how did they come to be? And The Perfect Pair, to me, whether you liked it or you didn't, was probably one of the standout moments for the entire series. Not just the season, but the entire series. Because the way it was done was magnificent. I mean, basically it initially starts off by the fact that we find out that there's something going on with the apples and the pears. And it's been going on for generations, but the only thing that's never been asked, and Apple Bloom points this out, is why? Why is there a feud going on? Why is there a feud happening? You know, how did it start, kind of deal. And basically this gives Applejack the idea of, you know what, we do need to find out. So we need to find out somehow, because Granny, apparently, going to Applejack, gets so tight-lipped about that, so emotional in a sense that even if she talks about it, she can't talk for a while. It's like she can't speak for a while because it's so, I guess, emotional or something. So what happens is we go on this journey with the Apple siblings. Starts with Goldie Delicious, who we saw in Pinkie Apple Pie. They bring her back for this. Then it goes on to some new characters. as well. Like we get Burnt Oak, who's a Firewoods pony. Then it goes to another character that gets brought back. We've seen her more so than Goldie Delicious, and that's Mrs. Cake, who we find out whose real name is Siobhan Swirl. Her real name is Siobhan, but it used to be Siobhan Swirl, now it's Siobhan Cake, I guess. Anyway, long story short, we also find out that Mayor helped initiate, was a part of this as well, and it's a good callback according to a lot of fans, because Mayor is shown to have pink hair back back in the day, and without glasses, if you will. So anyway, Perfect Pair, to me, I know some people may not like how maybe it was presented, or how it left maybe a few plot holes left unopened and for interpretation, but I thought it did its job very well. I mean, the animation was very well done. The narration by each character they encountered flowed perfectly into each other and into the moments they were talking about. I think overall, just a very well done, I think a very well done episode, and definitely worth the anticipation. You know, I think that we got somewhat of an answer as to who the parents were, and maybe that there was more to the parents than meets the eye, because we find out that during a pivotal moment, they both planted an apple seed and a pear seed, sort of to confirm the love for each other. And we see the result of those seeds being planted. It's a hybrid, if you will, of a pear and apple tree kind of twisted together, kind of like intertwined together, if you will. And now you have apples and pears coming off that are on it that they can pick. So, despite how some people may feel about it, because there are some people that have come out and said that there should be more to this than what we got, and maybe there is, but I think what we got, though, is satisfactory enough. I mean, who's to say we won't find out more about Applejack's parents in the future? So, I think what we got here, as far as a story goes, heck, the song a lot of people talk about, that Pear Butter Buttercup sings, who's voiced by Felicia Day, is ranked already as among one of the best, if not the best, of the show. So, overall, I think Hasbro, DHX Media, Joanne and Christine, I think they all did a terrific job with this episode. I think they really knew what they had to. I think they knew what they had to do to get fans invested in the show, get them invested in the characters, get them invested in this episode. Yes, it has a Romeo-Juliet-like feel, but we don't see the aftermath afterwards. And some of the moments that we see in the flashbacks are very mature and surprising. So, I think really worth a wait. I mean, heck, to me, it's one of the better episodes out there, to the point that I have it on here. That I was actually one of the few that saw the early release, thanks to Boomerang Australia, and I was able to download it and put it on here so I could watch it whenever I want. So, but now you can watch it anytime you want, thanks to Netflix. But anyway, overall, I would definitely recommend checking this episode out, because you will see exactly why, when people rank maybe the best episodes of 2017, especially for season 7, that this goes on the positive list. It might go on worst for some, but I think for a majority of the fans, it'll be on the best list. So, again, definitely did its job. We kind of maybe get an idea, I will say this, we kind of get an idea maybe later on, during the Fluttershy episode they did as part of the Legends of Magic arc, of exactly what may have happened to them, to Applejack's parents, but we don't really know. So, hopefully maybe we'll get more information in Season 8, maybe we'll get some more information in Season 9, who knows. So, that's all really I'm going to say on this, and yeah, definitely check out Perfect Pair. Now I'm going to go on to the second noteworthy item and standout moment of 2017 as far as MLP is concerned. Alright folks, Now the second noteworthy item, newsworthy item, standout moment, or newsworthy standout moment for MLP in 2017, of course, this might surprise some people, but of course is the movie. Yes, the movie came out finally this year. This was announced back in 2014 that it was announced back in 2014 that this was going to happen, and the anticipation since that moment had built and built. Originally, the movie was supposed to come out last month, around the early portion of November, but they pushed it up, I think, to avoid confliction with with movies like Thor Ragnarok and Justice League. And overall, I thought the movie was pretty good. You know, a lot of you probably noticed that I did a journey-like video to go see the movie in Turlock on its opening day. But overall, besides that, and as well as doing reviews for it, non-spoiler and spoiler, and doing an initial review on one of the MLP group pages, MLP Facebook group pages, a live one that is, I thought it was good. I thought, animation-wise, vast, as a lot of people have said, and I've said it as well, vast improvement. Huge step forward. The songs I thought were okay. I mean, were good. Well, they were good. I'll put it that way. The songs were very good. A lot of people pretty much have already, sorry for that moment there. I was just thinking for a second, but some fans have already said that, or not already have said, but have already started to compare "Open Up Your Eyes," which is the song that Tempest Shadow, who's voiced by Emily Blunt, sings. Some fans are already ranking it up there as being similar, if not on the same level as "Be Prepared" from The Lion King. So, but yeah, the movie I thought was worth it. I thought it was really worth going to go see on its opening day. Yes, I did see it on its first showing of the day in Turlock, because it was only on one screen, so I went and saw it on the initial. I didn't see it basically on its very first showing, which would have been the night before. But I did see it the next day, like I said, on its official opening day, the 6th, and the first official showing on the 6th as well. That's when I went and saw it, and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. It was my first time going to see a movie by myself since I've moved back here to California. So it was actually a great moment for me as well, because I actually got to go see something that I wanted to see without, anybody asking me why or judging me for. And yes, I was not the only one in the audience, in the theater. I think there was a grandmother and her daughter, and I think another few people that came from the other side. I mean, I came from this side. Others, as well as the grandmother and her granddaughter, and other people, I think, some other people, not many, probably came from this side, but I didn't notice. Overall, though, I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. And I know the movie's already out on digital release as of Tuesday, and will be on Blu-ray and DVD on the 9th of January. But overall, I thought the movie definitely lived up to its hype. Yes, there are some people that are going to say that Tempest is just another Starlight Glimmer situation. That might be true in a sense, but I think some people may say that Tempest kind of was a bit more developed in a sense when it came to, her inevitable redemption and all that, because what she did initially off the bat was put 3 of the princesses in what I call the living death situation. And what I mean by living death, basically turning them into statues, to where they knew what was going on, but they couldn't do nothing about it. So, and then to go from there and kind of save and kind of fully redeem herself in a sense by saving the main 6 from a similar fate. I think Tempest is, I will say this, her character was a little bit more developed and everything when it came to her redemption, inevitably, in Starlight. I will say that. But overall, I think the movie was very good. The story, I know the story will get a lot of mixed reactions. A lot of people would feel that, it could have been just done as maybe a multi-part episode or multi-part miniseries in the show. Oh, and that shadow play would have been more suited for the movie story, like I mentioned earlier. But I think it did what it had to. And the reason I think a lot of people have to understand that may have been a little critical about that, even the non-MLP fans, is because, well, not the non-MLP fans, but the established MLP fans. The non-MLP fans probably understood why these new characters were added in, why they went in these different scenarios and directions. But basically, what I think a lot of established fans have to understand is the reason you had all these moments take place in the movie, the reason you had the introduction of these characters, is because you were not just catering to the hardcore fan base, which this movie did, but you were also catering to a non-MLP fan base, an ongoing casual and religious or casual ongoing movie audience. So you had to kind of make the movie into something that, to me, I will admit, was a good hybrid, was a good to great hybrid of something for the MLP fans and something for the casual viewers. Like, in other words, even if the casual viewers never saw MLP Friendship is Magic, to them this is like a to them it's like, it's a movie based on the My Little Pony franchise, and this would be the first time seeing MLP on the big screen, if not for the first time in 31 years. But yeah, that's why the movie was done the way it was done. It was done because of course they wanted to cater to the fans that helped bring it to the big screen, help make this a reality, but they did it as well to cater to the non-fans that may have never seen an episode of Friendship is Magic, and to them this was like the first time they've ever seen My Little Pony in animation, animated and on the big screen. So yeah, I know fans kind of criticized it for being somewhat like that, but I think Toon Boom and Hasbro, Megan McCarthy, Jason Teresa, and everybody involved, I think did a great job in kind of making that blend flow seamlessly into each other, and thus we got a great movie. Am I surprised that it's out on home video so soon? In a way, because the last time Hasbro had this happen to a movie was Gem, but the only difference was Gem came out at the end of October and came out at the beginning of January. So you would look at maybe October to November as a month, both ends, to a month. The end of December is 3. So basically you had like 3.5 months, and it was on home video, physical media, that is. Here it's basically like 3.5 months, and it's already on digital release. Even though October 6th to October 6th is a month, to December 6th is 2, you kind of get the idea. But if you don't count it that way, and it's just like October, November, December, yeah, it works in that favor. But if you go from month to month kind of deal, every 30 days, you kind of get what I'm saying. But overall, I thought it was good. Again, am I surprised that it's out so soon? Yes. A lot of fans like myself thought maybe I actually thought, I'll be honest, I thought it would come out at this time because it's Christmas. But I thought basically we would not, I thought honestly we would have both a digital and physical release at the same time. But I think the reason we got the digital release is because the movie's still circulating in theaters around the world, if not the country. So they still want to give that time. And the digital release, I think, is sufficed enough, because if you were given that as a Christmas gift, at least those that you give it to, the MLP fans that you know of, at least they'll be able to take the movie with them anytime they want and watch it. So, but yeah, I think a lot of fans initially thought they would be seeing a February release at earliest, as far as the physical media goes, and maybe a digital release around the same time, maybe a few weeks earlier. But hey, do it. I guess Hasbro's doing what they got to do. So anyway, yeah, that the MLP movie to me definitely ranks up. Is definitely to me is one of the top 5, not top 5, but one of the 5 noteworthy standout moments for this year, and definitely was worth the wait in my opinion. So that's all I'm going to say. And now I'm going to get to the last one, the number 1, if you will, the last one, which you can interpret as number 1, standout noteworthy moment of this year as far as MLP goes. And let's just say recent actions pretty much have made it the top newsworthy item standout moment of this year. All right, now the final noteworthy standout moment for 2017 as far as MLP, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, is concerned. Leaks. That's right, leaks. This year, especially towards the end of it, has been the year of leaks as far as My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is concerned. Now I know there's probably been leaks before and all that, hacks, whatever you want to call it, but this one really took the cake. Honestly, it did. I should know because one of the leaks was on torrent, and I basically, I did end up getting it. I ended up downloading it through the torrent, even though I am totally against what the people did, because it's like, why would you do this, kind of deal. And to prove I was against it, I even went and saw the movie in theaters. Yeah, I saw the movie in theaters. And, as a matter of fact, I still have my initial ticket on here somewhere. Yeah, right there, here. This proves I saw it in theaters. And it shows you the date and the time of the showing. Right there. So yeah, I ended up seeing the movie in theaters and supporting it. Even though, yes, I downloaded the torrent. The reason being is because even though I'd probably go and see it a second time, financially, sometimes you can't go see something you want to see all the time. And so, figure might as well get it. And if you think I'm the only one that did it this way, you'd be completely mistaken. But yeah, that was one of the first major leaks, and that happened basically from the timeline perspective that I've noticed. That happened between the weekend premieres in New York City and in Los Angeles, and the official release Thursday evening, October 5th, and the official release October 6th. So, yeah, someone decided to get what was, I guess now, the USB drive, the master copy that's on a USB drive, and decided to distribute it online to everybody, just leak it out there. And yeah, a lot of people were upset about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was some that are still kind of upset about it, because it's like, you potentially took away some money from ticket sales that could have helped maybe keep the movie in theaters a little longer. Maybe. But yeah, that was the first major leak that we had from, as far as My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is concerned, the movie itself. And when people heard that happened, of course, a lot of people initially thought, oh, someone probably snuck a camera in there and tried to film the movie at one of the premieres. That was not the case, because there was a news that Equestria Daily put out that said that someone tried that at one of the premieres and they were kicked out. At the same time they were kicked out, one of the writers one of the creative staff on the movie was kicked out along with them because the theater staff thought this creative staff member was also in on it, and they weren't. So thankfully they saw the mistake they made, and they gave the creative staff and her family a second free showing of the movie after the initial screening and premiere was over. So good job on that. But yeah, someone tried that already, didn't work. So instead, I guess the next logical step was to take the master copy on a USB drive and distribute it everywhere. So that was the first of 3 leaks. 3. The other came a little after the second half of season 7. So basically, after season 7, so after the second half of season 7 began, I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 episodes in, we ended up getting more episodes leaked. I think even it was around the time it was, like I said, it was on the second half. It's like maybe an episode or 2 afterwards. But we started getting more episodes leaked online. And it wasn't because, they're being shown early in Canada by Teletoon or being shown early in Australia on the Boomerang channel. No, we're talking about the fact that these straight up were leaks that not even Teletoon and Boomerang Australia had aired yet. So they had basically these episodes got leaked online by accidentally by Hasbro. And I even question, with this happening and what happened with the movie, if Hasbro was allowing it to occur, or they just didn't have a clue. Who knows? But yeah, the second half of season 7 ended up getting leaked. I think 2 or 3 episodes into its second half. Episodes of Uncommon Bond, the Health of Information, Shadow Play, Daring Done, I think that's the episode, were all leaked online. And it's like, again, this got people talking and wondering what is going on with Hasbro. You think they would have better security, especially with the movie that came out, and now with this, you think they would have better security, but they don't, apparently. Or someone on the inside is getting the grubby hands on the material that they shouldn't be, or someone knows someone at Hasbro and at DHX, and they're getting the codes necessary to log into the company's website or the studio's websites and be able to download the files. We don't really know. So these episodes. So that happened. Now, after a while, people are like, okay, inevitably we were probably going to see these episodes before they aired in the U.S. anyway, either because of Teletoon or Boomerang Australia. So a little upset about that, but they kind of brushed it off a little bit, like saying, okay, maybe it was, okay, fine, it happened, not much you can do, basically nobody thought, honestly, nothing else bad could happen, nothing else could take the cake beyond the movie being leaked, and now the second half, and now a majority of the second half of season 7 episodes being leaked. No one thought, okay, that nothing else could top that, right? Wrong. Because recently, another leak occurred. Yeah, another leak occurred. And this was such a massive, significant leak in itself, because what happened recently is someone, we don't know if it's the same people, we don't know who it is, what's going on, but season 9, information on that, and information on Generation 5, G5, were all leaked. Yeah. Season 8 was leaked, not completely, but there are episodes that I mentioned when I talked about this that are 75% complete. And what I mean by 75% complete, I'm talking either the sound effects are not there, the background music's not there, or it's partially fully animated and the rest is still a work in progress. But yeah, episodes, I think so far about 6 or 7 episodes have been leaked online, and they're all 75% complete. I think maybe 1 or 2 are fully complete, from what I understand, are fully or near fully complete, but the rest are like 75% complete. And there's even an audio for an episode that got leaked online as well. Now, some people have already seen the episodes, either with or without the background music or near completion or whatever. I've actually skimmed through a few of them. And there's a lot of stuff that takes place here. A lot of stuff fans were hoping for. Remember when I talked about how, fans were happy at the fact that Celestial Vice and Royal Problem were much needed, was something that they've been waiting for, as far as the princesses go, especially Celestia. Well, now that continues in season 8. There's an episode where Celestia is a main character in the whole scenario. We also see what happens with Chrysalis. Chrysalis, of course, that was teased in the animatronic at HasCon. We see what she's going to do. And anybody that guessed that she was going to create clones are pretty much right on the money. We see that we get a new intro. I've talked about that in a video, as well as Millennium and a few others. We find out that the main 6 are now teachers. Well, basically they help teach at the school that we saw in the promotional poster for season 8 that Twilight now has. We see that the movie is indeed canon because we get a sea pony hippogriff in there. So it's pretty cool. We get that. So we get a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that happens here. We see a development for Spike. It's a development some people may or may not agree with. And that is the fact that Spike gets wings. Yeah. Everybody's been wondering, why doesn't he have wings? Guess what? He gets it. He gets an episode based on it. We get a Big Mac Sugar Bell episode that's going to involve Spike and Discord, as well as I think the CMCs. So there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on, but like I said, only about 6 or 7 episodes have been leaked online that are partially 75%, if not nearly complete. That if you want to watch them, you can go ahead and see them. I think they may or may not still be on YouTube, but who knows? You might even find a torrent of them as well. Season 9's information got leaked. We find out that Turek, who's supposed to come back, I think in season 8, I think that's going to be the cliffhanger that leads us into season 9. So Turek is definitely confirmed for, I think, the finale of season 9. I'm not really sure. But yeah, we don't know much about season 9 besides the fact that Turek's coming back. I think he's going to get teased as a cliffhanger at the end of season 8, and that season 9 possibly, according to the leak, is rumored to be the last season. But some fans and analysts and all that are still kind of debating whether or not that's true, because the toys are still doing well, the comics are still doing well, merchandise and stuff for the franchise is still doing great, and the digital release of the movie and the physical release of the film can only, amp that up a lot more. So we'll just have to wait and see what occurs. But it's rumored to be the last season, and that after that they're going to focus on Generation 5, which, oh boy, a lot of people are kind of like wondering what that's going to be like. There's rumors it could be CGI blend, very animation similar to what Generation, with an animation, not character design, but animation style similar to what we had with G3. Word about G5 is it's supposed to now involve planets of ponies, and they all converge on one planet. So you got different races on different planets. There's word going around that the next MLP movie is going to be like a pilot that leads into Generation 5, kind of like the 1986 movie was. So we'll have to see what happens. Some of the characters still look the same, but there are slight differences. For example, Fluttershy is now the unicorn Possible Pegasus. Twilight is now the Earth Pony. Rarity looks the same. Applejack is the one that's gone through a significant makeover, because now she's kind of like a brown pony, an orange, brown kind of. Her color scheme is now kind of brownish orange with white on her face, on her muzzle, and white on her chest and on her hoofs, if you will. And she's got a big apple symbol instead of like multiple little 3 apple symbols as a cutie mark. But some fans are I think some fans are kind of mixed about that. But pretty much some fans already knew that was Applejack right off the bat. I guess the apple gave it away. But yeah, there's word going around that's going to be done by the same people doing Friendship is Magic, so it may or may not be good. This word, according to the information that was leaked, that it's going to be targeted more towards that demographic that's more into Steven Universe and Adventure Time, more of that adolescent teen audience, young adolescent teen audience. So we'll have to see if that's any true. And the debut and the year for its debut is supposed to be 2020. So we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, a lot got leaked recently. And again, like I said, if you think nothing could top the leaks of the second half episode, of the majority of the second half episodes of season 7 or the movie, then this did it in the eyes of a lot of people, because it's like wow, this is a huge surprise. But you could tell that these episodes that are leaked from season 8 are, like I said, partially 75% complete and all that, because you still have the runtime and everything underneath, as well as it being a work in progress. So again, we don't know what's going on with Hasbro. Honestly, Hasbro really needs to step up their game and make sure this doesn't happen anymore, because it's like whoever's doing this, whether it's a group from Russia that doesn't care, or if it's hackers, leakers on the inside that are probably sick and tired of the ponies, it's like Hasbro needs to do something. They need to step up and do something, and they need to make sure this doesn't happen again. Because what's going to happen next? And I said this when I did my video during my lunchtime at work. What's going to happen next? Season 8 begins, and we're halfway done with season 8, and all of a sudden here's the rest of season 8? Or we get done with season 8 entirely, and here's season 9, or at least partial of it? They need to step up the game. They need to make sure this doesn't happen again. They need to make sure this doesn't happen. So, yeah. That right there, the leaks that have occurred over this past year, especially the second half, I think are very noteworthy and probably are deserving as being the last thing mentioned here as well. So that's all I'm going to really say on the 5 noteworthy standout moments for MLP in 2007, or 2017 I should say. If I said 2007 throughout some of this, I do apologize. Throughout 2017. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. And I will talk to you all later. Hopefully you've taken your time to watch this video, because it is indeed a long one. Peace out. God bless.